The views expressed by the host on this program obviously get action. The views expressed by the host on this program make things happen.
Live from the Southern Command in sunny South Florida, it's Open Line Friday!
Yip, Yahoo! Open Line Friday, where when we go to the phones, and I promise we're going to do that. I always try to go to phones the first hour on Open Line Friday, because honestly, the phones are supposed to be the focus on Open Line Friday. But we're overwhelmed here with crucially important news. Oprah and racism in Sweden. And a guy killing his wife in Miami and putting a picture of her dead body on his Facebook page. And then begging people to follow him. Keep track of him. So whatever you want to talk about, fine. Telephone number is 800-282-2882. The email address, ilrushbo@eibnet.com. Look, very quickly, the president is going to do a press conference this afternoon. I don't know what time. I haven't heard. He was on the Tonight Show earlier this week, and I thought that was a mistake. I don't need to rehash everything I said, but it makes the presidency look small. It diminishes it. JFK didn't go on Jack Paar to tell the American people about the Cuban Missile Crisis. We closed 21 embassies for a week. All this talk about dangerous terrorism out there, chatter that was as dangerous, potentially dangerous, as that which we had heard prior to the 9/11 attacks in New York and Washington. And to address this on the Tonight Show, so this led to some people reacting to that. At first, journalists tried to say, well, in the new media, everybody's a journalist. It really doesn't matter anymore. And there's no reason why you can't combine fun with journalism. And I said, it used to not be that way. And I said, the truth of the matter is, if anybody but Obama, the media would be livid here. This guy's sidestepping them left and right, and they're still in his camp. I mean, this guy doesn't get any pushback from the mainstream media. No reason to go on a comedy show and sidestep them, but they'll do everything they can to accommodate this guy because they're in the tank for him and his agenda and everything else. But Crystal Liz of the Washington Post wrote a piece and said that, Russia's absolutely right. Most reporters, me included, have been frustrated by the regime's tendency to end run the traditional media by picking and choosing where and when he gets asked questions. And USA Today, much the same thing. And let's go to the audio tape. Earlier this afternoon on the Fox News Channel, Judith Miller, the former reporter for the New York Times, was on, and the co-host here, the fill-in co-host, was Kelly Wright, and they're talking about this. Kelly Wright said to Judy Miller, Judy, does the media give him a pass for not coming to the White House press corps first, or the American people, for that matter, saying, look, this is a very serious matter, American. We're dealing with it here in the White House. What do you think here about Limbaugh's point?
Other presidents have done this, but this president has made a habit, a pattern out of this. And I don't see why he has to, because until recently, the mainstream media haven't exactly been beating up on him. But I rarely agree with Rush Limbaugh, but this time I do. It diminishes the presidency, and it's not fair to the nation.
I don't know what fair to the nation. It's just not respectful. But it's not presidential. It's diminishing. That's the whole, but which is nothing new, by the way. But this has been talked about left and right. Let's go to soundbite number 2 this morning on CBS. This morning, Nora O'Donnell speaking with their White House correspondent, Major Garrett. And talking about the press conference today, she's Major. A lot of topics to be discussed here.
A great number of topics. Evacuation of embassy personnel, Yemen, the uptick in strikes by drones, the ongoing global terror alert, Russian relations, all those terror alerts and security situations will sort of haunt that vacation, as will the destabilized situation in Egypt.
Now, earlier on the Today Show, F. Chuck Todd had something interesting to say, NBC, about the president's summer and the upcoming vacation.
This is expected to be a press conference that'll be all over the map. It's an end of the summer type press conference, if you will. The president is headed for vacation tomorrow for 10 days in Martha's Vineyard. This is basically a little bit of a disappointing end of the summer for the president. 3 months ago, he thought this would be a press conference where he'd be talking about a big success, possibly signing a big immigration reform bill. That doesn't appear anywhere in sight. He's got a big budget battle coming up in the fall, implementation of health care. So it's a more precarious position that he's in as he heads to vacation and has this final press conference.
Ooh, it's a bit of disappointing summer. So Obama's got to do a press conference here, trying to revive things.